This recipe is called Wine Kebab, a pork-based dish similar to the French beef bourguignon. Unlike its cousin, it mostly relies on the great wine sauce with few spices and vegetables. To start, finely chop 2 medium-sized onions by making incisions lengthwise, followed by 2 horizontal cuts to ensure smaller dice, and finally cut into small pieces. The only other fresh vegetable we are going to use is a carrot. I don't usually peel it as I consider it a waste, but I'll make it presentable for you, plus the operator will have something to snack on. Cut into 2 lengthwise, cut off one of the sides to get a stable base, and first cut lengthwise to get thin strips, cut those into sticks, and finally into small cubes. For the pork, I've chosen about a kilo or 2 pounds of pork neck. You can just cube it and be done with it, but I will show you a buttering technique that I think is perfect for this application. It's called seam buttering. The idea is to cut between the muscle groups by following the fat and connective tissue. In dishes like this, where the sauce covers everything, I hate it when I get a piece of meat with an unexpectedly big amount of fat. Once you have your muscle groups separated and cleaned, just cube the meat into bite-sized pieces. Transfer the ingredients you prepared to the cooking station, as well as 70 grams of tomato paste, 2 bay leaves and a bottle of good red wine. Finally, crush half a teaspoon of black pepper seeds with a pan and we're ready to cook. I've chosen a gorgeous pinot noir that is perfect for these kind of sauces. The traditional recipe calls for about 200 milliliters of wine, but as this is called a wine kebab, I believe it's better to reduce 500 ml of water by half. Preheat your oven to 180 C or 360 F. Since this is a pork-based dish, I will use a tablespoon of lard for frying, but you can use any oil. Heat it up and add your pork. Do not overcrowd your pan, as we want the meat to caramelize on the sides and create font on the bottom that is going to be integrated into the sauce. That is why I'm frying it in 2 batches. Next, add 3/4 of the diced onion, a generous pinch of salt and cook on low to soften. The juices from the onion will help you scrape the font on the bottom. Add your 2 bay leaves, your diced carrot and cook until everything has softened. In goes the tomato puree. I never found a difference if I fry it or not, but at least mash it around to avoid clumps. Once evenly distributed, add 1 tablespoon of flour and mix well on low heat as not to burn it. In contrast to the tomato puree, you need to cook the flour a bit, but it can stick to the bottom, so be careful. Increase the heat once again, add back the caramelized meat with the resting juices, stir to distribute well and add the reduced wine. Scrape well to release any bits and pieces that are stuck to the bottom and sides of the pot. Season with another generous pinch of salt and the crushed black pepper. Finally, add about 600 milliliters of water to cover all ingredients and bring to the boil. Cover with the lid and move in the oven for about 2 hours. Traditionally, this dish is served with rice. I will measure a cup of rice, wash it well a few times until the water runs relatively clear and soak it for about 20 minutes in cold water. While it soaks, heat some more of your chosen fat, in my case lard, add the onion with a pinch of salt and cook until translucent. Drain the rice and put in the pot. Admittedly, not my best choice for a pot, as it was difficult to stir and fry the rice for about 10 minutes. Add 1.5 cups of water and stir one final time. Once boiling, reduce the heat to low and cover with a lid for about 20 minutes, after which you should kill the heat, fluff your rice with a fork and cover for 20 minutes again so the rice can steam. 2 hours later. Look at this, so silky and caramelized. If your sauce is a bit thick like mine, add a bit more water to get a pouring consistency. Stir in a tablespoon of butter to get an extra glossy sauce and release all the caramelized bits stuck to the pot. Taste and adjust the seasoning. To serve, just get some rice in a plate and ladle some of the meat and sauce on the side. Mix and enjoy this luscious, creamy sauce packed full of wine and pork flavors. Enjoy!